Good morning. How's it going? Welcome. I am Leanne Matthews, and this is Live with Leanne, episode number 115. And today we have a really special day because I'm going to be taking you along with me on a journey. We're going to be talking about digital communications. I'm going to share this video. I'm going to ask that you share this video too. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope to make this worth your while, so definitely do stick around for the punchline. There'll be a few of them, God willing. Share this to your church page. I do hope that this will be of value to church communicators from near and far. So thanks for being here. I'm sharing it to the Anglican Diocese of Montreal page. Share it to your story. Share it everywhere. Yeah, how are you guys doing today? It is June the 18th. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. So if you get a chance to get out today, let me know how that goes. So every Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, we hang out here live on Facebook, and we usually do, hey Jose, we usually do like interviews and stuff. But today I opted to go solo. Once in a while I do a solo show. Gotten some good feedback about that. People say they like it, so hope you like it too. Give me some thumbs up and hearts. Let me know how you are doing today. Let me know where you're watching from. I love to hear from you. As I always say, this is not a monologue, it's a dialogue. So chime in. Let me know how you're doing. Super. Thank you for that, Céline. So glad you guys are here. Super, super de-duper. Awesome. Yeah, so this is a very special episode, and let's just hop right into it. I want to just say that Saturday was Synod, and I got a chance to meet a number of you guys at Synod. So thanks for saying hi. I was going around giving out these little digital communications thingamajiggies, reminding you guys that we're doing this today. Just so happens that my dress is matching. Oh, Nikki, thanks that you're watching from down the hall. Just so happens that my dress is matching the graphics for today's webinar. I kind of would like to say that happened naturally, but I kind of planned it. But I didn't plan the colors when I made the graphic, but I did think, what am I going to wear? I'll wear yellow and black and yellow. So yeah, I saw a lot of you in it. I gave you this little card. I asked you to join, and if you're here, super duper. I'm so glad that you made the time to be here today. That's just great. So our theme for Synod was evangelism, and how appropriate, because I am one of the many people who believes that we can use digital communications to evangelize. Guys, we can use these platforms to spread the good news. So that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. How are we gonna use our devices to spread the good news? Ron Cutler, Archbishop Ron Cutler, was our keynote speaker. And he told us that we need couple of things that we need to do to consider around evangelism is community building and authenticity. And I'm also here to tell you that we can use these platforms for community building and authenticity. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me before I launch in, a little bit about me and what gives me any kind of authority to talk to you here today. Because the cool thing about digital communications, you guys, is that anybody can use these platforms. You don't need to be an expert, right? We all have access at our fingertips to communicate to large audiences of people just because we click live or share. So it's a free market. So what gives me the authority to do this? I started clicking live a couple of years ago, sitting here with my former colleague and my friend and my mentor, Mark Dunwoody. We did these live shows. We've done 115 now, because that's how many this is. I've done them solo without him, with a number of other guests, but the point is I just clicked live, and we all have the freedom to do that. So it's such an amazing time to be alive, because we don't need a middle human anymore to get our message out. We all have that freedom at our fingertips. So I've been curious about social media for a long time. I guess around 10 years. I've been building different businesses and involved in different conversations. I am not an expert. I am entirely self-taught. I'm entirely curious about these platforms. So I think my curiosity is probably the most helpful thing that's brought me to this place where I'm learning and watching and listening and experimenting. That's the key word. Be experimental and curious, and that's really helpful as starting points in terms of how to launch into this world. I have to tell you though, that like when my colleague and friend Mark said to me a number of years ago, he's like, we're going to be using like Zoom for meetings. And I was like, oh, Zoom, that's not as good as face to face. Like I want to feel people's energy. I can't really connect to people through digitally. I can't feel people's energy. I can't get your vibe. I can't get your body language. So I was really skeptical, and I thought like I don't want to really be a part of that if I don't, and he's like, you have to, because that's the way the world is moving. And I thought, poo, I'm going to resist change. But life, as it usually does, proved me wrong. I have experienced so many profound and meaningful connections through digital technology, through this format. For example, these Tuesday mornings, I've learned from people and people have learned from me, and we've connected in meaningful ways that I never thought possible. Just as a for instance, but of course Zoom for meetings, or any of the other Google platforms that you can use for meetings, you can really pray and connect meaningfully and learn and evangelize and use these tools for good. So I have been transformed in terms of my understanding of how social media and digital communications, how effective they can be, and how you can overcome physical boundaries and boundaries around weather and this and that. We did a Bible study, for example, this year, a Bible study where we were like praying. Good morning, Edward. Thanks for saying hi. Please do say hi. Love that you guys are hopping on with me. Today's a very special episode. We're talking about digital communications. I'm going to try and give you some tidbits. I'm going to give you some pointers, and I'm going to share with you some stuff that hopefully you will find useful. Please do share this video, because I do think that it will be, there'll be some stuff that you can use for your own context. Take a pen and paper. You'll want to take some notes, and I'm going to be saying a lot of things. Obviously, you take the stuff that resonates for you, right? I don't expect everybody to have all this stuff down by tomorrow, but I'm going to just give you some overview stuff. I'm going to hopefully inspire you, because this stuff inspires me. So all this to say around like my transformation, I think it is possible to use social media, use digital communications in really meaningful, connecting ways that blew my mind. I did a course, actually. I did Education for Ministry. It's a 4-year program of study. I did a number of years face-to-face, and half and half, face-to-face and half digital. And again, EFM, guys, if ever you've heard of this program, it's a beautiful program, a spiritual program, a prayerful program. And I had the same, and I was skeptical, but I had the same prayerful, meaningful support and connections online as I did face-to-face. Can we share something on our screen when we are live? Say I'm doing a Bible study. No. You can only do it, you can do that like in Zoom, but when I'm doing a live Facebook, the only way I know how to do it is just to point my camera at the thing I want to do, like that I was showing you. Good morning. Mom says I look lovely. Mom, thank you. I tried to match my graphic here. The only way I'm able to show things on my Facebook screen, as far as I know, as far as the technology will allow, Jose, is to just hold it up like this in that old school type of way. Oh, one more announcement before I launch in. Hi to Jennifer Lake. Are you on? Yeah, how do you join? I think you're here, Jennifer. If you're saying hi, that means you're here. Okay, so this is, I want you guys to take a second. If Artie's here, maybe she will be able to put the link here. I want you guys to take a second to please fill out our digital communication survey. We are listening. We want to know how to serve you better. We want to know if you like the stuff that we're doing and how we can improve. Sharon O'Connell wants to be in my video. You can do that another day, but today it's a solo show. I am not inviting guests on the video, but I love doing that, and I have done that, and it's a really cool way to get guests, even though they may not be in your... Are you here? How do you join? Right here, Tim. Oh, I think she was sending me a message. Okay, so yeah, hopefully you guys are figuring it out. I'm gonna start. Survey is so easy, just takes a minute. You're right, Nikki. It just takes a minute. Oakley dokley. So I know summer's right around the corner, so I know a lot of us are like kind of feeling like, do you want to take on a big thing? I'm going to share this stuff with you, and I'm going to ask you to ruminate, resonate, let it resonate with you over the course of the summer, and start making a plan for September. So I'm going to start by giving you 5 reasons why 5 reasons why we should be using digital communications. Just 5 to start with. Take a pen and paper and feel free to jot down any notes and shoot any questions into the comments. I'll try and get to them. So first of all, the number 1 reason why we should be using digital communications, you guys, is as a storytelling medium. I know that a lot of us think of social media, and I know myself, I've fallen into this trap many times, like, I'm just going to share my event. Here's my event, come to my event, there's going to be food. Yeah, that's great. You can do that. But 80% of the time, you guys should be using your digital platforms to tell your story, to document your journey, because that's what's original about you. That's the authenticity piece. Tell your stories. We are supposed to be really good at storytelling, right? We're Christians. That's what we do. Our entire tradition is founded on the stories of our ancestors, right? Our understanding of our scriptures is based on storytelling. So we're supposed to be experts at storytelling. We use our pulpit every Sunday in this way, right, to share stories. So I don't know how you can do it. There's a million ways to tell a story, and this is where your creativity and your curiosity comes in. How might you tell your story? What is your story? What do you guys have to say? And believe me, it's of interest. Some people will say, who cares about me? Everyone cares about you. Everyone cares about what your unique story is. It's just a matter of framing it in a way that people can actually understand it. So there's a lot of delicacy in that. Look around and see how other people using digital communications to tell their story. But all I can tell you is that storytelling is the number 1 reason why I believe you should be using digital communications. That doesn't just apply to social, by the way. That could apply to your website and your email too. We're going to get into that. But just storytelling, that's why you need to use digital communications. I don't know how that sits with you, but it certainly is a very broad category, storytelling, and that might mean a million different things for a million different people. But engaging and interacting through storytelling, that's the most compelling reason why you should be using digital communications. For instance, the theme, the theme of redemption is, for us as Christians, it's really relevant. Excuse my coughing. It's a theme that's also used in marketing. So how can we use the theme of redemption as a question to tell our story? Yeah, it's not only relevant at Easter and during Lent, right? It's the theme of redemption. Excuse me. Okay, the number 2 reason why you guys, we need to be using digital communications. This is a big one. I had to write it down. Number 1 was telling our stories. Number 2 is because church attendance is decentralizing, not decreasing. So more and more people are using their devices to get information, to connect, to seek inspiration, to worship this way than in face-to-face. This may be disturbing for some people. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to tell you that right now there are 6 billion devices and 2.8 billion users of digital online, right? That's how many people we have access to. And in the digital mission field, out here, this is your mission field, right? Every user is a soul, and every soul needs to be touched. So you can use digital communications as another platform, as perhaps let's be honest, as the platform that will allow you to reach more people than you can on a Sunday morning. There's a lot of limitations to those 4 walls, and there are hardly any limitations to digital communications. We have this golden opportunity to tell our stories. We have this golden opportunity to spread the good news, to evangelize. And even though we can track decline, like decline is real in many of our churches, in traditional ways, we don't track that same decline. We see this growth of people using these platforms. It's just a matter of us being able to access them through creativity. Thanks for the thumbs up, and thanks for being here. Quick recap, I am Leanne Matthews. This is Live with Leanne, and I love hanging out with you guys in this way every Tuesday morning at 10. Today we have episode number 115, and we are doing a bit of a webinar on digital communications. I'm here to tell you, give you some nuggets and share some hopefully some inspiration. You let me know. we need to view the mission field outside of the walls of the church. And we know this is true in all the ways. And digital communications can be a brilliant way to allow us access to more people in deeper and more meaningful ways than we perhaps would have believed, right? It doesn't have to be a superficial, one-dimensional connection. There can be lots of interaction and lots of meaningful connections that can take place. And I'm here to demonstrate that every Tuesday morning, and in hopefully other ways as well. And hopefully, you guys will take your own depth and breadth of experience and translate that into that type of meaningful connection. That part's up to you. Number three. It's time to start a conversation, not a conversion. So our goal here is to talk to people, to listen to people. We can use our websites too, are about conversations, not conversions. So conversions typically mean like how much, it can mean different things in different contexts. As Christians, we understand what conversion might mean. It also might mean getting people to actually give you money for things. You might mean monetizing, using these platforms to monetize. But I'm talking about I'm talking about connecting with people. I'm talking about conversations. I'm talking about community building, right? So Facebook groups, for example, are an amazing way to build a community, a targeted insiders community. And Facebook groups can be a great way to connect with your existing community and to deepen that relationship. So let's say you have people come to you every Sunday. Well, here's the good news. You don't need to only talk to them on Sundays. Thanks to a Facebook group, you guys can connect and they can connect back during the week as well. A Facebook group is a great, different than a Facebook page, right? It's an insiders thing. You set up a group. If ever you're in doubt about how to do that, just ask Mom Google or Dad Google. Google it. How do I set up a Facebook group? Super easy. Facebook makes it pretty easy for you to do that. They want you to have groups. They want you to build your network and your community. So set up a Facebook group to build this community, to deepen relationship. Engagement happens in the context of relationships and interactions, right? That's what we're seeking, relationships and interactions. It's not a one-way ticket. I'm not, here's my event, I'm walking away. No, here's my heart. I'm opening it to you, and I'm looking for reciprocity, and I'm looking for engagement, and I'm looking for connection. Hi, Lil. So one of the goals could be, if face-to-face connection is your benchmark of success. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that Artie helped Michael Robson to get on. That's great. Welcome. If a face-to-face connection is your benchmark of success, then use Facebook groups to create that face-to-face, right? You can say our goal is to meet for a picnic in August, and so we're going to set up this group and create community and gather the community that way, with the hopes of actually, as a leader, do you see us on Facebook Live? Sometimes, not always, Jose. Sometimes people say I was talking and I didn't see you. I have two devices going right now. I've got my phone and I've got my computer, and I'm using both to see what's happening. Jennifer Lake says hi. Sometimes I see when someone hops on and sometimes I don't. But I do have a number in my screen that always tells me how many live viewers I have at all times, which is helpful. But I don't always know who they are. So be intentional about your desire to converse and set up opportunities to listen. So conversations are all about listening. And I know that might seem like a challenge in the digital world, but if you're listening, that means, we are listening. That means we're doing stuff like this, where we're actively seeking feedback. And when we get it, we're actively responding to it. We're letting that shape our conversations. We're not just shooting into the dark. We're listening. Asking questions. Asking questions is such a key thing to do on all the platforms. Be vulnerable. If you start coughing because you swallowed your water wrong, watch it happen again. Be vulnerable. I don't know how that might mean for you. And don't be afraid to fail because you're going to. Hi, Leanne. Love your something. Don't know what, because that word's not there. But yeah, don't be afraid to fail, guys. I used the word experimental already earlier, and I want you to let if you take no other word away from this pearls and blouse, thank you. It's actually a dress, and thanks so much, Lil. If you take no other word away from this webinar this morning, I want you to take away the word experimental and not being afraid to fail, because you don't really have a lot to lose. If you make a mistake, if a post flops, if the analytics show that nobody's gone to your website and looked at this page, that's no big whoop. You tried and you learned, and you'll experiment again and again and again and again and again. That curiosity and that desire to experiment is, I believe, going to be one of the keys to success in terms of your ability to connect with people on social media, in your website, in your email campaigns. Okay, number 4, let's move right along. We have the potential to reach people in more creative ways and to engage them in learning opportunities, worship, prayer, teaching, fellowship, and networking. So, what are these ways? The greatest teacher failure. Teacher is, Yoda said the greatest teacher is failure. For sure. That's why I'm so smart, because I failed so many times. Jenna's watching. Hey, Jenna. And we're talking about digital communication. So glad you're here. Hopefully, some of the stuff I'm saying is helpful to you. I'm starting off with giving 5 reasons why we should get on board with social media, digital communications. Reason number 4 is that we have the potential to reach more people, guys. I would like to connect vulnerable with the notion. Hold on, I want to read Jean Danielle's comment properly. Jean Danielle, thanks for hopping on and chiming in. I would connect vulnerable with the notion we should be as boldly ourselves and honest in online ministry as we would be in our real life ministry. This goes both ways. Some boundaries, same boundaries, same intimacy you do in real life ministry. Being inconsistent will look inauthentic because it likely would be. Yeah, vulnerable with the notion that we should be as boldly ourselves and honest in online ministry. For sure. Thank you for that. So agree. So hard, right? Because there's a lot of fakeness on the interwebs. A lot of people putting only their best face forward, and we know that is not always helpful for the church or for us as individuals or for communities to be as boldly ourselves and honest. And challenge, isn't it? Because sometimes things look much prettier on the outside than they do on the inside. And how do we frame that in a way that we keep our authenticity? Don't know, but I love that question, and I want us to reflect on that question as we move forward. Okay, so number 4, we have all these people. We have the potential to reach more people in more creative and dynamic ways to engage them in learning opportunities such as worship, online worship, such as prayer, teaching, fellowship, and networking, through our websites, through our social platforms, through edited videos, through live videos, and through digital meetings. So just because of the sheer ability to reach more people, I don't know about you, but that is just undeniable, right? Let's just do it, because there's all the people. And number 5, here's where things get real. If you don't do it, if you don't do it, you're not using it, you'll be left behind, because the world is changing so quickly, guys. It's happening. I mean, if we look at what's happened in the past 10 years, flash of a pan, really, in terms of the timeline of life in the past 10 years, our ability to connect and communicate in this way has exploded. And we really don't have a choice anymore. I know people argue, their parish council or their corporation, their wardens are against Facebook. And that's really too bad, and that's a choice that people will make if you're against social media. But the hard truth is, it's happening. Innovation is happening fast, and we need to know the trends that are coming. I mean, a lot of these things I'm talking about, these are things that have already that are kind of in the dust for a lot of young people today. For example, Facebook is not even a thing. It's our thing. But if you're 13, you're probably you're not on Facebook. So we need to be aware of what's happening, we need to be strategic, and we need to evolve. That's just the nature of life. And if we want to continue to connect with people and to build relationships and communities, then we have to do it. It may be painful, and there may be a learning curve, but we really, really have to do it. Doesn't mean you have to do all of it. It doesn't mean you have to do it all tomorrow, but we do need to at least take a hard look at what's going on, what the trends are, and how we can best use them to our advantage. I want to make sure I read these comments. Okay. Being against social media is a very dangerous statement against our young adults, a choice to not include them. It is a dangerous statement. And it's a choice not to include a lot of people, because people are, and even people who are shut in. I mean, if you don't even want to be talking about this in terms of age, there's a number of elderly people who've spoken to me personally and said that they like Live with Leanne because they can't get out, and every Tuesday morning they at least get a sense for what's happening in the church. Jose, I'm a novice with Facebook Live. On Zoom, I can cut the noise in the room while I'm turning off your microphone and turn it on when I want to talk. I don't see that on Facebook Live screen. I'm going to get into that question actually after, Jose, so do stick around. I'm going to have questions at the end, and I also do have that in as part of my presentation today. So I'm going to go on. I think now my number 5 is done. So quick recap. Number 1 is to tell stories. Number 2 is because church attendance is decentralizing, not decreasing. So we have, more people are out there than in the buildings. 3 is because it's a time to start a conversation, not a conversion. So number 4 is because we have the potential to reach more people, and in more creative and dynamic ways. Not just more people, guys, but in more creative and dynamic ways, right? Like creative. Like I don't know about you. Maybe I'm just hopped up on creativity, but I mean, whenever you give me an opportunity for creativity, I'm excited. It's exciting, is it not? And if you don't, you'll be left behind. Full stop. All right, so that's what it is. So I want to tell you quickly, let's go into what are digital communications, and I'll just do a quick review, like what are they? Because like Nikki said to me, like, are you sure that word maybe is a bit, like, not everyone knows what they are. I'll do a quick recap of what they are and what they do and how they all work together. Okay? And again, the goal here is not to overwhelm anybody, because I know that it can be overwhelming. So don't be overwhelmed. We're going to take this bite by bite, and not everything applies to everyone. As you're listening, start reflecting on what speaks to you and which would be the most helpful for you. Share this video, you guys. Share it. Share it because people want to know, I think. Okay, what are digital communications? So basically anything that's on your phone, tablet, computer. Did I miss a device? Anything that's on anything, like that's digital communications, right? So anything that could be, let's start with email. I love email, you guys. I love email. What's so cool about email for churches, this is just for you, for all the churches. Churches are experts at email, and email is an essential tool for any kind of campaign, social media campaign. You need an email address. This may seem like old schooly for some of us. We're like, no, emails are dead. I only use Facebook. Nuh-uh. Email is what keeps you connected to your people. You can do personalized campaigns, and churches, good news for us is churches have been building email addresses for like ever, because we've been using email for our bulletins and stuff. That's a total ace in our hole. Is that the right expression? Just used it. Is that like a poker expression? I don't know. But it's a good thing to have an email list. Have a big honking email list. You can leverage that, and it's such an exciting opportunity to apply all these things I talked about. The storytelling piece, the creativity piece. Use your emails in creative and dynamic ways. My goodness. Sometimes we kind of get stuck in the same template of like, what's an email? Like, da-da-da-da-da. Like, make your email fun. Talk to people. Connect with people. There's some basic rules around email that I'm sure you all know, and I'm sorry if this is totally boring, but just, you don't want to like share everyone's email address. So you want to just put other people, if you're putting a big group email, just BCC that, so that you're not sharing people's private information. That might be, for many of us, very well established information, but for some of us maybe it might be helpful. So I just thought I'd throw it in there, because I know sometimes we get emails that are like this long, and I've done it myself historically, long. You don't want to see everyone's email. Keep it private. Respect people's privacy, but provide content that you would consider helpful if you were getting an email. I don't know about you. I like a pretty picture. I like a video. I like free stuff. I want to know what's going on. I want to see you. So how can you show up? How can you use your emails for some of that vulnerability? Can you, I don't know, share a blog? Share a video? We'll talk more about videos. But all the stuff we talked about in terms of those 5 reasons, email is, thanks for talking about embracing change and helping us to use Facebook and other social medias for a force for good, kindness, and acceptance. Yeah, of course, that's what we're here for, right? That's what the church is here for, a force for good. So let's use all of our ability to reach out and spread it, evangelize, call it what you want, invite, be kind. Okay. So email is the first one. That's a part of this what are digital communications? Email, guys. And most of us, even some of our more elderly population, are on the email, are using it regularly. So use your email strategically. Don't be boring with your emails, because people will delete them. They won't even open them. So give them a good reason to open it, and especially just switch it up. I mean, I know we all get bored of seeing the same content week after week, so just try to switch it up, try to be creative and surprise people. I wonder, wouldn't that be cool if you surprised them with a different email format next week? And that doesn't mean that doesn't mean like starting a whole new thing. Many of us are already well versed and equipped in email. Michael Robson says, I like email and find it makes doing things much easier. Many people seem to have moved on to other platforms such as Facebook. Yep, they have, and that's what I was saying, that it shocked me when I learned, I've received coaching in this area, and it shocked me when I learned that having an email list is actually essential to building any kind of marketing campaign, because that email list is yours, Michael. It means that, let's say in the event that Facebook goes down, because it does do, or that there's any kind of, people have a lot of concerns about privacy with Facebook, your email gives you a lot more control to reach your people. And also, people leave Facebook because their feelings get hurt or because they're annoyed at that platform, then you'll still have that ability to connect with them. So I would still say that focusing on and prioritizing your email list is a good idea. Let's move along. Emails are not old school, says Jose. Many parishioners in rural areas do not even have email. Exactly, Jose. Tons of people are not even on Facebook, for sure. We were talking the other day, Jose and I, and a lot of them don't even have like internet at all. So that's another thing. Rural ministry don't have access to internet. Cell phones don't work. Digital communication is tough. First thing to do, let's all pressure our federal governments to have internet across Quebec. Good idea. Let's get on that, Jose. If you could send it around like a thing, and we'll sign it, because we want to be able to reach more people with greater ease. Let's move on to websites. So why have a website? Sort of similar thing to email, because it's yours. It gives you even more creative control. All the stuff that you put on your website is your personal content. So it doesn't belong to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, it's yours. So you want to have a website, you want to have an email, and you want to have them linked together. So you want to give people an opportunity to subscribe. So they land on your website, even if it's just a basic page. You want to find out who's there. So you say subscribe, and then you funnel that email address into your emails, which you can then communicate with people and stay in touch with greater ease. So yes, you need a website, and yes, you need emails. You need to have a lovely, fluffy email list, and you need to have a website that's at least up to date, that's at least got some pretty pictures, and give them a call to action. People want something to do. People want to know what's in it for them. You want to give them a reason to go there. It cannot just be like, here we are, show up. It's like, we're here to give you something. I don't know what that something might look like. It's something that we all have to ask that question. But what's in it for me? What's in it for me? I think there's like an acronym for that. Don't know what it is right now. But that's the question you have to ask yourself about all the stuff that you do. What's in it for the people who are getting it? Not what's in it for you, the sender, but what's in it for the receiver or the recipient. When they show up at your website, what are you giving them? What are you giving them? When you give them an email, what are you giving them? Give it away. Give them inspirational messages. We're the church. That's supposed to be what we're good at. Inspire them. Offer to pray for them. I don't know. We could have another webinar on that. Okay, what is social media, you guys? Social media. We're not gonna go in. Let's just stick with Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. How about that? Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Social media. Facebook. We use. Hey, Jonathan Bailey, all the way from the UK. So glad you're here. Welcome. Live with Leanne special webinar edition talking about social media and digital communications and websites and emails and all that jazz. So do share this video because I think it's helpful for all of us who are, treading through these waters. All right, quickly, you guys know that Facebook is, maybe you don't know, but I'll tell you that Facebook is still, despite all the controversy and all the Instagrams and the Twitters and the Snapchat, Facebook is still your #1 platform to get your word out. You're going to get the most people, the most bang for your buck if you're going to be, just use your Facebook. You can certainly, I would of course encourage you to get creative and use the others. But Facebook, especially for our demographic, a little bit older, they're the ones who are on Facebook, and Facebook still doesn't hold a candle to the others. In my experience as well, I find that it's been much easier to grow my Facebook accounts over my Instagram and my Twitter, and so just Facebook. And they don't, and I just want to throw this out. It's called Facebook because people want to see your face. So stop hiding behind your posters, and stop hiding behind your church thingamajiggies, and show up on your Facebook. It doesn't have to be live. I'd rather it were, because it's so easy for you. We'll talk about that. But just show up on your Facebook, guys. Show us your face. Okay, Twitter. People love Twitter. News media loves Twitter. It's a great way to short bits of information. You can tweet whatever you want to tweet. Have fun with it. Be experimental. See how Twitter works for you. Short bits of witty, inspiring news and politics. Lots of people have lots of fun on Twitter. Myself, not so much, but lots of people do. Instagram is great for stories, and we're all about the stories, right? So you can use the different features on Instagram, such as Instagram stories. I don't want to overwhelm or complicate. I just want to leave you with the message that Instagram is a beautiful platform for telling stories, for sharing blog content. People get pretty up close and personal on Instagram. I do tweet, Jose. Do I love tweeting? No. It's kind of like eating a vegetable I don't like. I like most vegetables though. Actually, I can't think of one I don't like. I just don't like olives, and I don't have to eat olives. But yeah, I tweet, and Instagram is up close and personal. Instagram, I feel like myself, I get a little more vulnerable on Instagram. I feel like Facebook, for me, can be a little judgy. I don't know if that's just my own impression, but I've used, and I check out Instagram. I do a lot of watching, and I encourage you to look and watch and see what other influencers are doing. Jose says that Instagram's about pictures. Yeah, lots of pictures. And you're not a dinosaur because you're here, and I love that you're here. And Instagram is a lot about the images, visuals, but visuals are important everywhere. People want to see stuff. They don't want, static images. Static words are less compelling for us. We love to be engaged. We love to see stuff. Okay. So build relationships, share personal stories, use your Instagram. So Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Those are the three we're going to stop there. Of course, there are more. There's always more, but my goal is not to overwhelm you. I'm going to talk about that. So why? Why do we do it? Because we want to connect, guys. We want to connect. We want to reach people. We want to tell our stories. We want to invite. We want to inspire. We want to evangelize. We want to build community, right? And there's sort of another tension that I hear from people from time to time. There's this tension between the two distinct communities. There's your existing community, and there's the ones that you hope and aspire to reach. I think you should focus a lot on your existing community. I think you should preach on this subject. I think you should get up in the pulpit and talk about why it's important to use different platforms such as email at its most basic, and evolve through websites and through social media platforms to reach people and to connect with people and to encourage your people to gently, I think of you, Jose, and I don't want to overwhelm because I know that you have a totally different population, but if you start expressing your passion for this stuff, if you do establish a passion, then generally speaking, passion is contagious. So people might also start feeling your love of it. There's your existing people. Nurture and gather them, the people who are already in your pews, and then a separate campaign is for those outside of your of your existing communities and reaching those people. And that will take some creative problem solving on your part to figure out who these people might be and what they might want to hear. But once you guys start using and are curious and experimental yourselves, then it will help you to be able to expand and to reach other people. A lot of churches struggle to keep it all going for the long haul. That's a good one, Neil. Yeah. It has to be fun. And it has to feel like it's something that you're passionate about. And I'll get to that in the overwhelm piece. Let's talk a little bit about video. Video has the most impact for content creators, okay? I know that I've pulled some people here in the office and I've heard that for them, they don't like video, but that's quite exceptional. Statistically, video is the best way to get more people to watch what you're doing and to listen to what you're saying. To inspire people. So I would just really encourage you to use video, either Facebook Live or, I'll read that in a second, Michael, either Facebook Live or, can you hear that? There's like a fire truck. Or just shoot some video on your phone. Very easy. I've been playing around with editing tools, which I've been having so much fun with, not gonna lie, it's so much fun. Editing tools here, iMovie on my computer. Oh my gosh, so much fun. You can do it. iMovie's right on your. I'm gonna read that. iMovie's right on your phone as well. Okay, Michael says I have trouble figuring out the differences on the way one is expected to use and purpose of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. It's mostly that different people are on each. Sometimes it's the same people on each, Michael. If I were you, I would focus on one and do that one to the best of your ability before you branch out. Like when you start getting excited for others, then go there. But I would say focus your energy on Facebook to begin with, and use Facebook for the same reasons why I outlined at the beginning, to tell your story. Storytelling is use a Facebook group to build an intimate community in your, let's say, your existing people. You could do a Bible study. We could get into like the nitty gritty around how, maybe either on a different chat. There's so many creative ways, and I would encourage you to start dreaming and praying on that. But you start with Facebook because they each do different things. It's kind of the same people, but Facebook's going to be easier and better and faster for you. Don't even think about Snapchat. Love the Snapchat filters though. So much fun. But don't even, because I think that's just going too far for us for now. How about that? Just for now. We're, one step at a time. So just talking about video, shoot video. They don't even have to be edited. You can just shoot a really simple video on your phone and just share it. I use YouTube. Again, didn't even talk about YouTube because I don't want to overwhelm you. I do use YouTube as the platform. It's very easy to share videos onto our website from YouTube. So I love to throw my videos up onto YouTube and then share them through email and stuff from there because it makes the file very shareable. But we can talk about that. But that's all the technical stuff. It's just the big thing I want you to take away is to be experimental and creative and to make some videos and to show your face. Good. Glad that was helpful for you. Thank you. I have a few themes to consider for videos. Just going to shoot them out. These might resonate with you, and if not, just ignore. Okay. Themes to consider for making videos right now. Church grounds, gardens, or projects. So take some pictures of your church grounds, of like the flowers right now. I don't know about you, but every day I go outside, I'm like, oh my gosh, peonies are happening. Today's peony day. And yesterday was whatever, and soon it'll be Black-Eyed Susan Day. And you know what I mean? Like, it's exciting. Right now, nature is alive, and that's like a beautiful subject for your iPhone. So take a picture and say, and tag your church, seen on the church grounds, spotlight on flowers, church flowers. A series or a campaign around faith, like ask people how, tell us your faith story. Tell us, how you came to God and what did you pray about today? Jen is watching. Hi, Jen. Relationships. Talk about people's relationships. Do a little campaign on how we met and how we gathered at church and how our friendship has blossomed outside of church. Seasons are such an easy, wonderful, beautiful way and a compelling way to engage people. Shoot some pictures or videos about the seasons, about your reaction to the seasons. Everybody has an opinion about the seasons and the weather. Ask a parishioner, ask a warden, ask your rector to comment on the seasons. Document your personal journey and experience because we want to hear, because we like it. You video film with Facebook Live or another software. I just use Facebook Live, not complicated. Literally, we're going to talk about it in a second. Just click live and you're live. Redemption, we talked about that already. That's a theme of that we, that marketers use, the theme of redemption. How can we use that theme? It should be pretty alive for us. Themes from scripture. I don't know. We inspire people on the regular. That's what we do in church on Sundays. Can you use that same energy to inspire the people who might be following you or might want to follow you on Facebook? Okay, so how not to get overwhelmed. I've given you a whole bunch of information and I don't want you to get overwhelmed. So first of all, as I said, you're not expected to do all these things tomorrow or tonight. Take some time to absorb this information. So just breathe. Hopefully you took a few notes. Begin by looking around and listening to what others are doing on these platforms. Like watch people. I cannot tell you how much I've learned just through watching. There's so much free content out here. People are giving it away. Watch what they're doing and ask yourself, do I think I could do that? Would I be okay with that? Or does that not speak to me? Because not everything speaks to everyone, and that's cool too. Like Jose and I were talking on the phone, and we're talking about your particular context, for example, and it's like, okay, Jose, I don't think you should go out and do a huge Facebook campaign. Your people don't have internet. Email might be a great place to start for you. Email. Just use your email really creatively, though. Like, don't just do the same old thing, right? Call yourself to a higher standard. Be experimental. Be creative. But just look around and see what people are doing on social. And if you are lucky enough to be on somebody's email list, do you like those emails? Like some emails I open up and I'm like, I'll click all these things and I get links and I get pictures and I get stories and I get recipes and I'm like, oh, that was helpful to me. Recipes. Church squares, guys. Lemon squares. Come on. Put that in your email campaign. Put that on your Facebook. Repurpose the content. If it's in your email, turn it into a Facebook post and an Instagram post, right? These things are on your website. Repurpose the content. If it works, if people are responding to a recipe that you sent for those lemon squares, take a picture of the lemon square and just, milk it. And hashtag lemon squares. So look around and listen and see where you feel called. If you really like flowers, then go with the flowers. If you like lemon squares, then go with the lemon squares. You're not going to get burnt out if you're doing something you love. Start where you are with what you have and follow your heart. Literally pray on it. Discern, like what are you called to share through these mediums? What are you being called to share? Where's your passion? Where's your heart? And if you let that be your guide, then you're not going to get burned out. We don't get burned out when we're doing what we love. And when we're not taking on stuff that doesn't feel like we can do it well. So take it one step at a time. And start talking to the people in your community. Like, this is not just about one person. Ideally, it's about a number of you that have a similar passion. And, start listening and talking and sharing and praying and preaching about how you can use digital communications to connect more deeply with your existing people and to reach people outside of your walls, your mission field. This is your mission field, right? Every user is a soul. So I think I think that's all I have. If you have any questions, shoot them into the comments and I'll take a minute to answer them if anything comes up. I'll talk a little bit about Facebook Live because I do want to address that because Facebook Live is something people have asked me, like, how do you do it and all that stuff. So as you guys know, every Tuesday morning at 10 we use Facebook Live. I just basically set it up on a little tripod here, a tiny little tripod that I got on Amazon. It was like $15. I use my iPhone. I have no other technology. I have nothing. Okay? That's what I was saying to you earlier about like how this is the great time because everybody has access to the same stuff. Like there's no middleman. I don't need to pay anybody. I just click live. That's it. And then I sit here. And then I hope I don't choke on my water like I already did before. But if I do, it's all good. So every Tuesday morning we use Facebook Live. Once in a while, it wasn't live. I did pre-record because the guest couldn't come. So I have used pre-recorded video, and I'm going to tell you right now that I get less engagement when it's not live. I missed what you said, $15. The little tripod's $15. Little tripod, got it from Amazon. I just clicked my phone into the tripod. You don't need a tripod. I've used books. If I ever forget my tripod, I put it against books. Like, it's super, super low key. And I wanted to say something else. This isn't in my notes, but it just come to me that, like, honestly, the more authentic that you present yourself and the less high tech it is, with the less of the fancy of this, that, and the other, honestly, we're trying to build some trust here, and we're trying to regain the trust that the church has lost over time for a whole bunch of reasons. People don't trust us. They think that we're all like out to just get their money, right? So you can use this opportunity to like just show up and be like, it's you can see that like you can trust it. People trust it when it's less like curated. So that's why live videos do better, and that's why like not too much editing, even though I've been having fun like adding music, and just I find it creatively interesting to play with editing tools. But I mean there's a lot to be said for very, very grassroots, very, very not high tech, there's probably a better word for it, productions. Like, so it doesn't have to be fancy. You just have to feel like it's something you want to do, and you just have to feel excited about the E word, because you're evangelizing here, you're connecting with people, and it's deeply meaningful stuff. I think it is deeply meaningful stuff, because you're connecting with people, and that's always meaningful, and building community is too, and being authentic. So that's how you do Facebook Live, guys. You just press live. Literally. And if ever you have any questions, like, where does Zoom come in? Okay, classification wise, good question. Zoom is like a meeting platform, so it's not like it's a tool, it's an app, it's a tool, and you would use it to connect. Like, it's a digital tool, but it's just not a social media platform, so I guess it's like a website or an app, and a brilliant way to also like lead a Bible study. It gives you guys also, like, when you're in a Zoom meeting, it's a bit more like a Facebook group, because it's not like a public thing, so you can have a bit more intimacy and privacy on a Zoom chat, because you know exactly who's there, and the moderator can also like get people off the meeting, and you can control more, like Jose was saying, in terms of muting the microphones and stuff, so it gives you a bit more control. But this way you guys can't talk here, you can only write stuff, and on Zoom it's a bit more intimate, because I can see your face and I can listen to you talk, not just see your words. So that's where Zoom comes in. I'm a huge lover of Zoom. Like I was saying already, I've had a lot of really intimate connections and communications and prayerful, deep, authentic, spiritual opportunities with people on Zoom. So use Zoom, use all the things, guys. Just experiment, get out there and give it a go. Good news is I'm actually going to be downloading this whole thingamajig so that people can have it, like if you didn't take notes or if you're curious to share it or whatever. I'm going to put it on our YouTube, and I'm going to be like sending it out to parish communicators, all the same ones that I emailed yesterday. I do think, does the video remain on Facebook after the live broadcast, or is it done? Would that be more helpful to people? Okay, good. Valerie, thanks. 2 good points. One, Michael says, does the video remain? Yes, it does, Michael, unless, let's say, like the video flops horribly and like you fall off your chair and you choke on your water. Both fears of mine, as I drink more water. Then you don't have to make it. You can just like you don't have to make it live. You have an upload option. So when you click the finish button when you're done, it gives you the option to upload or delete it. Then you would just be like, I don't want anyone to ever see that, and you would delete that. So that's great. Or you click upload if you want to keep it forever. I'm going to download it. You also have the option to download it and to put it into like a YouTube link. But again, it might be too overwhelming and complicated to talk about that right now, but I'd be very happy to unpack that if anybody else would like. Valerie says, would that be more helpful to the people in rural areas? I love that you said that, Valerie, because I didn't even think of that. So smart, because I think you're right. I think, Jose, that tell me how, she was saying there could be some issues around internet, but if you don't want to use social platforms like Facebook, why wouldn't you? Yeah, you could use Zoom, guys. You could use Zoom for digital Bible study on a snowstorm night. People use that. EFM is done on Zoom now, Education for Ministry. People across Canada, different time zones, gather to pray and study scripture and do theological reflection and all that jazz via Zoom. I had another thought about I also just want to say, and maybe I said this before, but like the fact that you guys are preaching every Sunday morning and putting all this thought, time, energy, prayer, and reflection into your sermons, and they're not videoed, and they're not like, you got to video those sermons, and you got to repurpose that content. Like, think about all the ways, all the stuff that's already happening. You don't have to build content. There's so much content already happening between your bulletin, which puts, again, a lot of time and effort goes into that bulletin. You can like take bits from that bulletin, turn it into a tweet it, right? Anyway, I could go on and on. I get really excited about this because there's already stuff right under our noses that if we just do a little bit of like reimagining, we already have everything right here without the overwhelm and the burden of taking on a whole new thing. It's all right there. Use your sermons, use your bulletins, use your emails, your already existing email addresses. Just create some video, make it fun, follow your heart. Don't get overwhelmed. It's all good. Does that help? All right, I think that's it. Amen from Valerie. Cool. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. I've already taken an hour almost of your time. I'm going to download this and share it, and I just want to thank you guys so much. We only have one more episode of Live with Leanne before we break for the summer, so I look forward to seeing you guys next week. We are going to be having a really special week next week with the Pride Mass Committee. Pride Mass coming up in August here at the Christchurch Cathedral. And that's it, over and out from me. #Live with Leanne. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for this. I'm learning to take baby steps with tech. Baby steps is great. And thanks to you guys for being here. Please do share it, because if it was helpful, let's let other people be helped too. That's what we're here for. See you next week, same time, same place.